Yeah, yeah, yeah. Welcome back to the wrong warp. It's me, your host, Ketsuban. Forgot to get the theme song loaded up, so I'm gonna get the theme song loaded up. You piece of shit. There we go. But we're not gonna play it just yet. You know, we gotta get used to each other here. We gotta relax. Got a great show for you here today. I've got it's like a chill out, relax session. You know, all these other shows, they're always coming at you with data and all this stuff. Not here. Here we're relaxing. We're gonna have a good time. Maybe we'll learn stuff, probably. But much more important than that is the relaxed hangout, the relaxed, happy, good, fun time. As I've been saying lately, if you're in a bad mood or something, turn it off. Don't listen. Wait until you're in a good mood. I want this to be a happy, fun time for you here today. We've got some nice joints rolled up. And what I've got today actually is all the stuff that I was gonna do the other day on the main show. But then, Sammy appeared and I had to seize the opportunity. And I'm glad I did because I really liked the conversation that I had with Sammy. I thought it was pretty good. I admire Sammy for doing his own research and for sticking to his guns. Because there's a lot of us that's kind of the problem a lot of time is sticking to your guns, right? Like, say you know some type of great truth, but you're in a room with 10 people who disagree with you. Well, what on earth is it going to do for you to try to convince those people of something? I don't think anything, you know? And in my life, I've never really had very much luck convincing anyone of anything ever. It's just never worked. But one thing I like with Sammy is that we come to the same conclusion, but we use the opposite methods to get there. Aaron Connor says, "Will we shoot some b-ball too?" We might. We may shoot some b-ball here today. Like Sammy, he measures. Like he goes outside and photographs the moon and shit like that. That's how he gets his data. And what I do is the complete and total opposite. I don't do anything. I don't feel like testing anything, and I don't need to. Mentally, I say mentally, in my mind, I come to the conclusions that I come to based on how many possibilities there are. Like when it comes to the shape of the Earth, which we're going to get into today, which doesn't matter, by the way. It doesn't matter what shape the Earth is. It doesn't change anything. That's a great example of my point here is that my conclusions are based on either way. My conclusions are based on, well, either the Earth is round or it's flat or it's something else. Who the fuck knows? I come to my conclusions based on that rather than measuring. And what's so funny is everybody who does measure, me and them, we come to the same conclusion. It's fucking beautiful. I saw someone tweeted yesterday talking about flat Earth. They said flat Earth is a psyop. And I agree. I fully agree. Flat Earth is a psyop. You see, round Earth is a psyop. And all flat Earth is the opposite polarity of round Earth. So round Earth, which is a lie, is kind of the same as flat Earth, which is a lie. You're not going to find answers there. Something that I love that Sammy said, that I think it's what I used for the clip for that episode, is that they don't tell you any truth. Nothing. Nothing is ever true that you are told or given freely. That is bad info. The only truth you're ever gonna find is the truth that you find on your own. You know, maybe a friend or someone can point you in the right direction or something like that. But the only truth you're ever gonna find is the shit you find and the conclusions you come to. I found that to be kind of a universal truth that I've been seeing. That the only people who really come to the good conclusions are the people thinking for themselves. But then that bleeds into the whole NPC thing. I don't even know where I stand on that anymore. There's obviously so many people who are, I don't even know what I would call it, kind of brain dead in a way, But they don't care. They're not unhappy. You wouldn't be able to convince them of anything if you tried, and they have no intention of ever really learning anything. That's fine. That doesn't hurt me. But why are they there? Why are they there? That bleeds back into something that I talked about when I started the Wrong Warp at the beginning of the year this year. I was going in a certain direction in the show, and in some point that kind of changed. So what I want to get back to today is kind of that original sort of concept that I talked about. Huge difference between what I'm going to talk about today and manifestation. But just like how me and guys like Sammy come to the same conclusions, it all ends at the same conclusion. The end of all this stuff is that you're good. Everything's good. We're fine. Things are great. And in fact, things are going exactly how they are supposed to. Things are beautiful. Things are perfect. You got to know that, okay? You must know that things are perfect. So without further ado, let's play this theme song and get the show started.
Welcome to the Wrong Warp.
Speak my thoughts. I am very far away. I am all on my own. Take me to the promised land. Hold me there. I am very far away. I am all on my own. Take me to the promised land. Hold me there. I am very far away. I am all on my own. Take me to the promised land. Hold me there.
Da 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 da. All right, so I've got my first marijuana stick lit for the show here today. Got a couple more of these lit. I really enjoyed getting super stoned on that last show with Sammy. Kind of different because I used all the time that he was talking to ingest weed. But it was good. So I think I'm just going to chain smoke weed every show from here on out. Or at least I'm going to try to. So this first video, this is something that I wanted to show you on the last show. It is, it's a guy with a rocket. I think someone said this is a sugar rocket, whatever the fuck that means. But it's an amateur rocket. And they launch it and they put 2 GoPros on the rocket. I posted it in the Facebook group already. And the rocket reaches the dome, or reaches the end of something. Now, if you've been around the show for a while, you know that I don't accept photos or videos as proof of anything. Because you can make anything. Have you seen movies? If they can make something so realistic in a movie, why couldn't they do it in real life? To me, all they would have to do is make a movie and then distress it enough to make it look like real footage. And we believe it. We eat it up. I always thought that as a kid, too. That, oh, you believe we went to the moon because it's on TV. How the fuck would we get signal from TV? That makes no sense. It makes 0 sense. I mean, that right there should stop the whole moon thing for, like, everybody. But it doesn't for some reason. That should... It makes me angry, even. But everybody should be like, no, that can't work because you can't get TV reception from another planet. Another planet. And it should be squashed right there, and everyone should know, oh, all this shit's fake. But obviously, stuff's got out of hand, and since the 60s, I guess, people have been believing this. But I don't know. I don't know if it's truly been that long. I'm really fucked up with time right now. I don't know when I've decided that time has started. Did it start when I was born? Did it start in I don't know, because all of our parents remember growing up. That's true. Could it be like false implanted memories or something? I just really don't trust history. Anyway, so it's a video. So my point is that I don't accept photos or videos for proof. So I would never show this video and then expect someone seeing it to go, oh my God, and have some type of opinion. That's not the point. But my point is that this video is so good that it should freak people out. It should be viral. The world should be freaking out. But alas, nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck. I mean, it's realistic. I don't see any holes here. So I'll go ahead and play the video. It's less than 2 minutes long. You can find it. Amateur rocket hitting the flat Earth dome within 73 miles. Uploaded by Vario Speed, whatever the fuck that means. But I just think it's really good. I don't see many flaws here, and I don't understand why
Our mission as the civilian
people who
space
accept
exploration
photos and videos as proof wouldn't accept this. It's pretty goddamn convincing.
is
Let's
to
check
be
it
the
out.
First civilian team in history to launch a rocket that reaches space.
First civilian team in history to launch a rocket that reaches space. I mean, this shit is convincing as fuck. Much more convincing than the space stuff or any stuff that's been shown to us. Look at this shit. If you're listening to the audio version, it says on our screen here, the Go Fast 2014 rocket, highest and fastest amateur rocket ever launched. Look at this shit. The rocket reached an altitude of 73 miles, which the number 73 is odd. I'll talk about that in a second. Now here's what's crazy. There's all that noise, and there's the clouds, and everything's spinning, and it's going straight up, and then everything stops. I'll go back for just a sec, actually. Then all the noise stops. It's like, is that when we exit the atmosphere or something? Is the atmosphere real? All the noise goes away. And then it hits a fucking dome. Getting quieter and quieter. Quieter and quieter, but still spinning. Still spinning. Wait for it. Wait for it. Hitting the dome in 3, 2, 1. And listen to the noise. Wow. That's some convincing ass shit. So now here's what's really cool. They say, let's watch this again from 2 different angles. So they have a camera attached to the side type of thing. Let's check this out. This is what's really crazy. I'm hoping you'll be able to see it on the screen because it's in a little screen of its own, but it's very cool. Right here. That's like the Earth sideways, allegedly. And then you see space is just pitch black right here. So that's the Earth sideways. And then this is space where you can't see any stars, planets, nothing. It's just pitch black. Almost as if there were a dome. Look at this. Look at this shit. Spinning fast, and then it hits the dome, and it slows down. Bam. Holy fuck, right? Now, like I said earlier, that could be bullshit. The whole thing could be bullshit and be fake in some type of way. Trust me, I'm easily... Shut the fuck up. I'm easily fooled. But, I mean, come on. If you accept other stuff, other photos and videos as proof of anything, then why do you not accept this? And even if you still believe in the globe or whatever, and you see this, what do you think about it? You know, I mean, what do people use to write this off? I haven't heard anything. I guess I could check out the comments. I don't care that much. But I mean, come on. Why is that not a huge deal? Why is that not news? And I think the obvious answer is because that doesn't fit any news station's news agenda or anything like that. But I saw that not that long ago, like a couple weeks ago, and it blew my fucking mind. I went, holy shit. I watched that video like 10 times to see if there was some obvious way that it was fake. You know, I didn't want to show this on the show and it'd just be some stupid shit. But I can't find anything wrong with it. I think that is what would happen if you put a camera on a fucking missile and shut it up. That's what you would see. I don't know, man. I usually don't talk to people about this stuff. but I had a guy just the other day at work kind of arguing with me. He told me, he's like, this weekend, I was at a party or something, and this guy I met a flat earther. And I went, oh God. And then I said, what I said was, so do you think the earth is a globe? And then I could just see on his face the wave of like, oh my God. Right? And I talked to him about it for a little bit, but it really made him act like an asshole. To me, that's the point of flat earth. Flat earth is there to put you in a box to make people think that you're really fucking crazy and really fucking stupid. I mean, if you put yourself in the mind of a normie for a minute, or think back to yourself in the past when you were more indoctrinated or something like that, what did a flat earther sound like to you? Because to me, I was like, oh, these people are retards. They think the earth is flat. Now, cut to now, I would never consider myself a flat earther or part of any type of group. But what I would say is that the earth is not a globe. Is it flat? I don't know. Is it crater? I don't know. Is it hollow? I don't know. But the point is that nobody knows. Nobody can know. It's not something that we can currently know. If anything, I subscribe to Sammy's model. That was pretty good. Enoch 1, flat, square, earth. And it's important to differentiate between flat, square earth and flat earth. Because flat earth is almost like, I wouldn't say a corporation, but like a franchise. That's a good way to put it. It's almost like a franchise, flat earth is. Because if I say, oh, I'm a flat earther, then you assume I subscribe to all kinds of different things that are surrounding flat earth. But when I tell you flat, square earth, that implies some other stuff. Square, I think, is accurate. I think whatever we're living in, I think the closest to what it could be is a cube. I think we live in some type of cube. And the dome could be dome shaped like a snow globe, or the dome could be fucking square. It could just be a flat fucking square. Sam Osborne in the chat says, I'm familiar with this footage. Always wondered why it spins the way it does when it hits and how it remains upright. Samantha says, it's all just bullshit, but not in a scary, limiting way. It's all bullshit in a liberating way. Free your mind. Yes. Sam says, my dad thought I was retarded when I suggested flat earth is real. Now he's stuck on it and I have doubts about it. Go figure. Yep. That's good stuff. This is good stuff. There, like I've always said, there's a trap at every level of awareness, you know, and that's exactly what flat earth is for to me. So somebody starting to think for themselves and realizing, oh, things probably aren't what we've been told they are. They'll get stuck on flat earth. Or they'll really just get stuck on whatever else. I love what Samantha said, that it's not scary in a limiting way, but it's all bullshit in a liberating way. Free your mind. Yes, 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 yes. That's true freedom there. Knowing that it's all bullshit. I remember the last time I took either LSD or mushrooms. I can't remember which one. But I always watch the news when I take psychedelics. Like, I don't just sit there and watch the news for hours, but I always try to at least watch a 5 to 10 minute clip of the news. And that to me is like the easiest way to see the truth. Get someone on psychedelics and show them the news. Because when your mind is working that way, it's so obvious. It's so obvious that there is some type of agenda. One problem I have is that when I say something like that, people will want specifics. They'll say, oh, well, what is the agenda? If all this stuff isn't true, then what is true? And I can't answer them because I don't know. I could give them some answers, but they could probably find just as many flaws in those answers as I could find in their shit. You know, so they think that if I'm saying something's not true, that means I must know the truth. No, 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 no. I don't know the truth. I only know what's not true. I can only point out what isn't true. And as of right now, at least, most of it's untrue. You turn on your TV, it's untruth. Even fiction. That's what's fucking wild. Even fiction nowadays every part of it is some type of propaganda. Even if you think back to the basics, like just a normal movie with a family where a guy goes through some type of struggle, but he figures it out and everything works out. Even that, even reality shows, sitcom shows, and stuff like that, you watch it and you think, well, it's obviously a show, da 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 da. But what it does to your psyche and your unconscious mind is it ingrains this sort of standardized idea of normalcy, right? It teaches you, oh, this is normal. Got to be normal, 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 and act like you are expected to. And that's what's so wild about the trick that's played on us. Is it's not a trick to just make us do something. It's a trick to make us do something and believe that we came up with it in our own mind. And that's a manipulation. That's all that is a fucking manipulation, right? And here's the thing that most people don't want to hear, especially most people like us don't want to hear stuff like this. Your mind is very, very easily manipulated. Even when you're awake to a lot of this stuff, your mind is still so easily manipulated. I will demonstrate for you here in just a second. Aaron Connor says, I'm watching Shrek right now, and the amount of adult jokes in there that are spun to appeal to children, it's total manipulation and brainwashing. Yeah. If you're watching Shrek, I saw a video the other day with Shrek. In the beginning of the movie, there's the three bears from the story. Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear. Now, you never see Mama Bear again, but later you see Dad Bear and Baby Bear. And if you pay close attention to the details in Shrek, at some point, it's in I think Lord Farquaad's castle or something like that. There's a bearskin rug on the ground, and it is Mama Bear, as noted by the pink bow on her head. It's fucking crazy. But check this out. I'm going to manipulate your mind. You ready for this? Do not, no matter what, right now, do not picture in your mind a pink elephant. Don't do that. Do not picture a pink elephant. You pictured it, didn't you? You have to. This is the way that your mind works. So, as demonstrated now, somebody that you like and that likes you can even manipulate your mind. That seems so simple, but in reality, if you can get somebody to think what you want them to think, you can lead them down a trail of decisions. And just like I said a minute ago, the trick is making you think that it's your original idea. It's just the way that your brain works, and you can do it with anything. You can go up to anybody, say, don't picture a purple pair of sandals, and they have to. Even people who tell you, well, I didn't picture it. Yes, you did. You have to. That's how your brain works. It just is. You see how easy that is? You see how easy that is? Just saying a sentence and it's forcing you to picture something in your mind? That's manipulation. And we're made to understand a certain degree of manipulation and then think that we know some shit. And then think, oh yeah, we got it under control. That's to prevent you from seeing the large manipulation. Aaron says, while Lord Farquaad is drinking a margarita, and then he sees Fiona and gets a hard on. Yes, I remember this. Shrek was kind of fucked up, if you think back about it. Still a good movie, though. Sam Osborne says, you even see this behavior play out when online personalities LARP. We think we're having genuine interaction, but we're just getting some kind of truther lap dance, if you will. Yes, that's a great way to put it, Sam. A truther lap dance. Now, something I figured out the other day, and it's interesting because I learned it from one of these Mason guys. I don't remember if I told you this or not, but the show from last week or whenever it was where we talked about Masons. We looked at some lizard people stuff, and then we talked about Masons. The day after that, and I told you about how there's been these 3 or 4 Mason guys who've tried to recruit me and all this shit. The day after that show, one of those guys messaged me for no reason, just like asking if I want to hang out or something like that. But he did something into, I don't know if it was on purpose or what, but this guy, I've known him for a few years. He's a salesman, like an actual salesman. And he did something that I didn't realize he did until way later. And then I haven't heard from him since. And I'm wondering if he did this to show me something or teach me a message. But it's the same type of shit to me as the pink elephant stuff. All you really have to do, and this is kind of a dirty trick, so don't use this stuff for evil. All you have to do to get someone to be really prone to agree with you, all you really have to do to win someone over is compliment them just a little bit. You know? If somebody's having doubts about you and they tell you, oh, you look really good today, well, now that made you feel good, so now you're on their side. This is how narcissism works. I think some degree of narcissism is programmed into us. It has to be, because there's no escape. Even the best people, they're fighting this programming in their head. And that's kind of what the art turns into eventually, is fighting programming. You see the best, most zen people, you see people who really got it under control, all they're doing is ignoring the programming. But for them to be ignoring the programming still has to be present. And that reminds me of something that Sammy said that was really cool, which is just that we are half program and half organic. I don't exactly know what that means or what I am to do with that information, but it makes sense because I do feel these programmings in my mind even. Aaron says, Emmy Rossum from Shameless posted a shaming post about how she was fine getting the jabby stabby and called everyone idiots who won't get it in the comment section. It was wild. Yeah, that's a thing that's happening too. Whoever your hero is, so we're all spiritual, but we all like at least one or two normie things out there, whether it's TV show, movie, music, whatever. These people, they will show you. It will be revealed to you that even these people you like are on the opposite side of the fence. They really even are kind of the bad guys. I mean, anybody at all that you see making a post that says, get the vaccine, they are bad. And that's not to imply that somebody's telling them to make a post or something like that. It's not to imply that they've got some crazy agenda in their head and they want to get everyone vaccinated. No. There's no need for that. What it is these people want normalcy. They want things to go back to normal. They want everyone to shut up about the truth and just do what they're supposed to do. And so they're basically saying, come on, guys, get the vaccine. I mean, maybe a lot of them are paid. Maybe a lot of them are paid and told to do that, especially the big stars. But even the ones that aren't super huge, that actually are telling you this of their own accord, and they may even believe that it's a good thing. They may even believe that it's helping. Well, that's their programming. That is simply their programming working. And I guarantee you that they'll tell you that it's their original idea, their original thought, and all this shit. And maybe it is, but not really, because they only had this original thought because of how they were programmed, because of what they were forced to consume. I mean, whatever we're in, this trap, it seems to be unavoidable. You know, and whichever way you choose to escape it, they're just going to get you some other way, or at least try their hardest to. Aaron says, I think half the posts are paid promos. Morgan says, just going to make more people boycott the UFC and NFL that are pushing it. Yeah, and that's another one too, sports. And that actually leads me into something good. I have something about sports, a video about sports that is fucking nuts. I just got to remember in this moment how to find that video. I think it was on Instagram, but it's Mike Tyson. It was this Mike Tyson video, and I don't think I even fully watched it all the way. But it was, how the fuck do I find this? It was like Mike Tyson showing that it was fake. And then it led into people talking about the word entertainment. So they changed sports at some point into sports entertainment. And when they changed the name of what they are doing from sports to sports entertainment, effectively they're going to use that as an excuse to lie to you, for it to be fake. Kind of like pro wrestling. Let's see. I got to type this in manually because I didn't send it to myself or anything. And why does this link have... Okay, never mind. Anyway, I got to type this in manually, which is a huge pain in my ass right now. YouTube. There's a space. There's the period between the U and the B in YouTube. Is that normal? YouTube. Tube. Okay. YouTube/IAWZ. Damn it. Sorry, I know this sucks. IAWZX10DWW4. I hope this works. Please, please, please work. Please, please, please work. Damn it. It says video unavailable. Well, where the fuck did I find this video? I've got it on my phone here, and I've just got to get it sent to my computer. But it's so fucking good. The Mike Tyson hoax. That's the name of this video. So I'm going to copy the link and then email it to myself because I've got to play you this. It is that good. It is that good. So let me see what email I got pulled up. I'm trying to think of something entertaining I can do while I do this, but nothing really comes to mind. That's okay. I'm just going to do it live with you here today. Sending it to my own email. Here's the link. Paste, paste, paste. Come on, you piece of shit. I got a show to do. Trying to do a show, you fucking piece of shit. There we go. Okay. It's sent to my email. Now it should pop up and I can show it to you. This is just like many videos. I haven't honestly really watched the whole thing even. I just saw enough of it that I went, oh yeah, I got to play this on the show. Did I send it to the wrong fucking email or something? No. I sent it to the right email. Come on, you piece of shit. Stop conspiring against me. There it is. There it is. There it is. I got it. Here we go. Here it is. The Mike Tyson hoax. It's like a 30-minute video, so obviously I'm not going to play the whole thing. We'll just skip around and check it out, and I'll smoke some joints and stuff like that. Let's check this out. Come on. Through stupid shit.
Means win. Everybody knows that.
So the other guy knows that you need someone to lose to your fighter, and he'll say, I've got somebody who's in the gym, but not much lately. He's not in great shape. Okay, so now we're talking about somebody who's probably not going to go the distance. The response to that is, that's okay. I only need 3 or 4 rounds of work. And the other guy will say, okay, well, my guy's only good for 3 rounds. And
okay, so he's explaining to you how boxing really works. It's just like pro wrestling. Boxing, everything else, really, I really do think it is just like pro wrestling.
you can fine-tune without ever saying, I want this fight to be fixed. But the fight is as fixed as it can be, and you will get exactly what you want. I don't think it's widely known. People don't want to believe this, of course not. And they don't want to feel that they've been fooled and cheated. But they have been.
The comeback of George Foreman, who first won the title in 1973, includes questionable fights. Before winning the heavyweight title again in 1994, Foreman knocked out at least 5 men who entered the ring with bogus records. One of them, Mike Jamison, was billed as having a 17-15 record when he was 13-16 and hadn't fought in nearly 3 years. Mike Jamison. Now let's connect the dots. 4 years prior, Mike Jamison also fought Mike Tyson. If it was rigged with Foreman, it was definitely fixed with Tyson.
Losses with 8 knockouts.
Jamison is doing at this point what I think he should have been doing in the first place. He just took the right time.
One has to remember that just because a fighter is hit, it does not mean the fight isn't fixed. Fighters take hits to sell the fight, others take obvious dives.
He just took the right time.
So it is exactly pro wrestling. That's all boxing is. According to this video, this is the first thing I've ever seen claiming this, but it makes complete sense, and it makes sense with all other sports too, honestly.
Down to one knee, Jamison, Joe Cortez, the referee.
Also, if you're listening to the audio version of this in the future, I'm smoking weed, so smoke weed with me.
With a count, and Jamison suffering his second knockdown here in the 5th.
I believe at this moment, the referee looks over to get the signal to stop the fight.
up in the corner. And one thing, he's a showman.
One thing that I'll say that I hate is the music. Why do you need to put eerie music on your videos if they're legitimate?
Jamison wants to continue. Referee Joe Cortez says no. Jamison says he wants to go on, but the referee Joe Cortez says
it's a show.
Over, and Mike Tyson is a winner again.
But let's get back to Tyson later.
So rigging the record, that's another way to fix a fight. Charles Farrell once invented an entire career for a guy named John Carlo who had never fought at all.
And then you have to put slowed down Queen lyrics.
The fight's ruled a technical draw. If it happens after the end of the third, they go to the scorecards.
Defeated king of beers and fight.
All right, let's skip ahead a little bit because they're kind of dragging this shit out. Give me the good shit.
Prostitute, a stripper who had never fought before. Within minutes, Payne was The fight is scheduled for 10 rounds, and it goes 10 rounds. Tyson says he didn't want to knock him out, but that's only because it's scripted to go the full 10. Looking at the footage, Mitch Green is doing a lot of holding and wasting time.
You know, this reminds me so much of those last two fights with Logan Paul and Jake Paul and all that shit. It has to be the same thing, right? It can't be any fucking different. Jen says, smoking with you. Woo! Everyone's laughing at dramatic effects. Sam says, there was a time in my life where I mocked younger me for watching WWE while simultaneously watching UFC and thinking, now this is the real deal. Yeah, that's just it. I'm kind of thinking like, it's kind of like revelation of the method. You know, they show you that pro wrestling is fake, and then they use the exact strategy in every other sport, and so you're expected to think that you figured it out. Is that what a red herring is? Is that what red herring means? That's what they do with everything. Think about it. Anything that exists, they make you think that you know the secret, the real deal, the trick. But it's really a, what is that called? A scapegoat? A false flag? Okay, the dramatic effect is too much, dude.
I'd say at this point they're really not trying to hit each other, just putting on a show.
Farrell's guy was a heavyweight named Mitch Green, and he'd put Green up and supported him for 18 months. Then he arranged a fight that was supposed to launch Green's comeback. The fellow in the other corner was Bruce Johnson.
Bruce Johnson is one of these guys, and you see them often in boxing, but understands that the way he can make money in boxing is to lose to name fighters.
Wow,
and
it's exactly pro wrestling. We learned from Alex Orion. If you haven't heard that stuff, go listen to all the Homewrecker podcast stuff. He talks about this stuff and explains how it works. It's the same shit that they're saying here in this video.
And it means that he goes into each fight trying to figure out what the easiest route out without taking an obvious dive is. And that's how he makes a living. So it doesn't serve his interest to be too good a fighter.
It doesn't take much to see
33 KOs. We've all lived our entire life just to get to this point. We're watching this video and we see 33 KOs. I feel like whoever made this video did that on purpose.
How it's all connected. The guy responsible for fixing fights is managing Mitch Green, the guy fighting Tyson. And you think it's not rigged?
Mitch and I got into a shouting match at the hotel right after.
All right, I'm getting kind of bored with this, but you get the point. You get the point. Although it could be total bullshit, like I say with every other thing. Could be total bullshit. It could just be made to look that way, but I don't think so. I think this is a good clue to use, keeping in mind the as above, so below, and looking at everything, every entertainment thing, especially sports. I really think it's all bullshit, and I have for a long time, simply because it could be. It's possible that it could be bullshit. Most stuff that isn't bullshit, there's no margin for it to be something else. It's impossible. But you watch sports, You listen to doctors talk about pandemics and all this stuff, and it's still possible that they could be lying. It's possible that they could be tricked. I say that when that possibility is present, it's probably true. Most of the time. And especially going back to what Sammy said, if they're just giving it to you, it's bullshit. It just is. When you find something that's true, you like know that it's true because you had to go on a journey to find it. A bunch of crazy circumstances had to happen for you to find it. Nothing. So it's just really easy to keep that in mind. And when you see a news headline, it's not true. It just isn't. And that's how I feel about stuff. And the problem with that is not that they're saying something that's untrue. That's not even a problem for me. I just go, oh, it's untrue. The problem is all the people that you know and love who believe that it's true. And it's not even just that they're being tricked. Again, I don't care. If I see someone being tricked, I think, well, they'll figure it out like me. They'll figure out the same thing that I figured out eventually at some point, and they won't be tricked anymore. The problem with it is that in the meantime, which is the present, which is the only thing that exists, in the meantime, it's really tough to have conversations with people. When people, whether it be a stranger or a coworker, friend, family, whatever, it's tough to have those conversations when they bring something up to you that you know is bullshit. Because at least this is how I feel. I don't want to talk about this stuff, outside of this show. I do not want to be talking to people in my everyday life, trying to convince them of anything, talking to them about reality. That's not fun to me, right? It's just not. This is fun. But people in the real world, and I don't feel like it's my job even. I don't feel like I'm responsible for doing that. But it's like not worth it. Almost. It's not worth trying to give someone some type of truth in a little conversation like that. Because if you just pretend that you're in the same world with them and you're nice to them and kind and stuff like that, that to me is almost better. It's almost better. Instead of trying to convince someone of anything, just treat them good. Treat them with love, like you love your kids or something. Treat them lovingly. That's the right thing to do, truly. That's the right thing to do. It's undeniable. Treat someone with kindness, especially if you disagree with them. That's who you should really treat with kindness. But a lot of our world is on the internet anymore. A lot of our world is just on the internet and not in real life. Sam says, one of the fights gets stopped right at 33 minutes. The producer points out the symbolism. Oh, I see. I got you. Jen says, you are the product, not them. If they bring it up, I will talk and share what I know. Morgan said agreed. Yeah, I mean, if somebody ever if they ask me a question or they indicate to me that they're into this stuff and they know about it, fuck yeah, I'll talk to them. But that almost never happens. Sometimes it does, but most of the times, even when it does, they're still on some other fucking frequency that is irritating. Like a lot of astrology people. I'll be like, oh, yeah, let's talk about this stuff. And they're only interested in astrology as far as selling it, like as a service or whatever. Because I'll try to talk about astrology stuff, and they're just like, oh, yeah, I don't care. And they want to talk about something else. And I'm like, wait, but I thought you were into this. Maybe astrology is a bad example, but stuff like that. Esoteric stuff that can't be verified, maybe. And that's why a lot of people don't buy stuff. Like, they sell you this idea that things are either real or they're not. And I think the scientific method is kind of a big psyop in a way. But then at the same time, I also think it's revelation of the method. So the scientific method, they're showing you how to figure something out for yourself. And if you use this scientific method on everything, including them, you'll see the truth. Excuse me. And maybe there's some bullshit mixed into there too. I don't know. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Scientific method. I remember this from being a kid. It was easy. Okay, here's a chart. It says observable or observation slash question. Okay. And then it goes into research topic idea. Okay. Then it goes to hypothesis, which is like your idea, what you think is going on. Hypothesis is what you think is going on that you're going to test. And that goes into test with experiment. That goes into analyze data. That goes into report conclusions. And that's all in a loop. And then after you report conclusions, you go right back into observation slash question. This is the scientific method. And I don't think that's a psyop. I mean, it makes total sense. I think the psyop is teaching you that using this method, we've come to all these other conclusions, because if you tested them for yourself, you would find out that they're not true. But let's see. God, I've got so much stuff in my list here. So much stuff. Let's do one more fun thing. I'll do one more fun type of thing, and then we'll get into the real heavy shit. The good shit. The good, real heavy shit. And unlike some popular shows in the conspiracy community, my heavy shit is heavy shit. So there's this show, shut the fuck up. So back in the day, there was this radio program. I hope that someone knows of it besides me. But if it wasn't for this radio program, I might be either completely retarded or I might just be a totally different person. But there was a radio program that I started listening to in the 7th grade because my parents would make me go to bed. I don't remember how old you are in 7th grade, like 12 or some shit. But my parents still made me go to bed at that time, at like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or some shit like that. And I would listen to the radio, quietly, sneakily. I would listen to my radio as a way to entertain myself. And whatever my bedtime was, I think it was 10 o'clock. That's what time this radio program started. So it's what I always ended up listening to, and I started to like it, and then I got to where I love it. The name of the show is called Loveline. Loveline was with, it had several different people, but the main thing was Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Adam Carolla's an old school radio host and comedian. He was on The Man Show. He had that movie Road Hard. Adam Carolla's had a long career. Everyone knows of him, I think. And then Dr. Drew. If you don't know of Dr. Drew Pinsky, he's like a doctor, but I think he might be kind of a bullshit doctor. I don't quite remember. But the radio show is these two. Basically a comedian and an actual doctor. And the fodder was really good. I just loved the show. But the show taught me so much stuff because they would take call-ins. They would take call-in questions about anything. And sex was a big thing. Relationships was a big thing. Sam says, bro, I watched that. Was way too young to be a viewer. Yeah, this show had no business being on the radio. And the people calling in were like kids, like I was at that age, like 12. There were some adults too. But this is the place where I first discovered patterns and the place where I first discovered how everyone's kind of the same and everyone's connected. So you would get calls, like for example, a common call would be a teenage girl calling and asking about why she is attracted to guys who treat her shitty. Stuff like that. And Dr. Drew, whether being truthful, whatever was going on, he would really break it down for these girls. Like if a girl called in with that question, he would ask if they had any trauma when they were younger. And they would, yes, they would. It would be like, oh, yeah, my dad abused me when I was younger. And I'm not saying those two things are the things that correlate, but the point is someone would call in with a problem, and then Dr. Drew would point to trauma that they had earlier in their life and how they are unconsciously seeking to recreate this trauma in their adult life. And that's what every answer to every question turned into when you boiled it down. So I started to see this pattern that, the things people do in their adult life, the things they're attracted to, all this shit is kind of based on their childhood. And the traumas that we go through as a child, unfortunately, they actually kind of do shape the rest of our life in a certain type of way. Now, you can wake up, you can become hip to this stuff and not let it be a part of you, but it's almost like you're programming. You know, it really almost is like that's your childhood is your programming. You know, and I mean, the big common thing, kind of the example I used would be a girl having trauma when she was little, and then for the rest of her life, unconsciously recreating this trauma and not understanding why. Now, I just sort of picked up on that pattern when I was younger, but it didn't just listen to the show and think about it there. I thought about it in my normal life. So it got to the point where on the show, people would call in, and then in my mind, I would call out whatever was going on. It was like, oh, it's going to be this. And I started to get pretty good. I started to get where I was right a lot of the time. So I translated this into real life, talking to people. But, you know, I was still a kid at the time, so I didn't have a great gauge for it. But I started to apply this in real life, and it worked. It was true. That's really how we operate. And that's, I mean, like a lot of my intelligence roots back to that. And it's something that I don't understand why most adults don't understand this, because that information is given freely. You know, you can Google it, you can figure that out. It's easy, but most people don't want to face that. Most people don't want to face the fact that they are recreating trauma over and over and over and over and over. But the truth is, that's what a lot of people are actually doing. To me. I mean, at least that's what I see. And, you know, when I was younger, I was kind of an asshole. I mean, I guess I still kind of am. But when I was younger, I was way more of an asshole. And I would just say these things to people. People would, especially girls, would be complaining about something, and I would say, oh, well, it just links back to when you're a kid. This probably happened to you, didn't it? And the horrible part about that is I was pretty good, still am, and I'd be right a lot of the time. And in my mind, I thought I'm helping. I thought I'm showing you, look, you're doing this because something happened to you. All you have to do is become aware of that, and you can stop doing it. And start loving yourself and do what's good for you and stuff like this. That's how it was in my mind. But trust me, when a girl's being emotional, telling you about some type of problem, and then you tell her, well, it's because of what happened to you when you're a kid. Just stop doing it. Girl, that's not the right thing to say. Let's just say that. Nobody wants to hear that. So it didn't land me in any good positions. It only isolated me. And then I got way older into my 20s and realized, oh, people just want you to be nice to them. That's it. You want someone to like you, just be nice to them. That's it. Even though they're shitty, just pretend they're not shitty and be nice to them. And they will like you. It is that simple, right? People just want to be understood. They just want to feel like, oh, somebody gets me. So, I don't know. I don't even remember where I was going with this, to be honest. Oh, the Loveline thing. Okay. So, I want to show you a clip. So, Loveline, and they would have celebrities on and stuff like that. Like Steve-O. If anybody remembers Steve-O from Jackass, he has this big, long, there's like a movie about him even, where it's a documentary. You can find it on YouTube for free. It was on MTV. Documentary about Steve-O, about how he got super addicted to drugs and fucked his life up and like fucked over everyone he loves and all this stuff. I mean, there's video footage of him being all fucking gacked out, doing nitrous oxide, like 100 canisters and shit. It's a whole ass thing. But he's better now, blah, 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 blah. So Steve-O, in the prime of his darkness, came on Loveline a few times. And those are really good episodes. I wonder if I can find one of them. Because I want to show you a clip of Loveline. I guess Loveline was on MTV as a show for a little bit. I never saw that show. I only listened to the radio. Let me see if I can find a Steve-O clip. I'm sure I can. Here we go. So this is from 2006. March 5th, 2006.
Loveline is meant for an adult audience.
This also links back to what made me want to be a host was this show Loveline.
My relationship therapist.
Mostly when you see a medical advisor, though, you do what that person tells you to do.
Yeah.
You don't ask for detailed instructions and then vanish.
So Steve-O, the audio you're going to hear of Steve-O right here is on so much drugs.
That's so funny. You know, like, how about like the range of topics that my emails?
Oh my God!
Like it's pretty wild. Like
that's a new TV series right there. A new reality show.
No, a coffee table book. Like really, or a crapper book.
Yeah.
You know, while you're on the pod, like
with pictures.
Really wild emails by Steve-O. And I've done so many projects I'm working on. None of them are in fruition yet. But I'm making Steve-O Presents as a coffee table book, the world's most regrettable tattoos. Right? And like nobody can do that but me. I'm not saying that I have the dumbest. I'm gonna find even dumber ones.
You got some of them, yeah.
But like I'm a good spokesperson for that.
Yeah.
I think that's a hugely successful coffee table book.
That's a great idea.
Then there's gonna be my comedy gangster rap album, Steve-O Hard as a Rock.
That's gonna be good.
Which is gonna be fantastic.
Do you have any new ones for us tonight?
You know, I do, but I've got my crack cocaine song.
We'll give it to Rick.
But it's on my computer, dude.
See, he has a crack cocaine song. He was really doing crack cocaine.
We'll get to it. I'll figure it out during a commercial break.
All right. Take a call in the meantime.
Oh, yeah, man. It's great to be here.
Ashley, thank you for coming. Ashley.
Hello.
Hey there. What's up?
So I have majority guy friends who I hang out with all the time. They play in a band with my boyfriend, and I was at band practice the other day.
She said boyfriend, like as if there's a question. She said boyfriend in question format, like questioning whether or not it's really a boyfriend.
Right. So, right.
And band practice. I mean, that's just a one-liner right there. Sorry, baby. Go ahead.
Apologizing for having
Sorry,
a boyfriend.
baby. He says.
Yeah. Good. Very insightful.
Well, it's kind of an interesting relationship, but yeah.
Potty mouth, B-word.
Every time that we go out, all these guys that I'm friends with have girlfriends, right? And so whenever they talk to other girls, knowing that they have girlfriends, I go up and do my job as a woman and make sure that
she's a C beer.
My abilities, right?
You're a C beer, babe. You know, here's the deal. I mean, how do you say this? Like, biatch. You know, every dude is gonna cheat on his chick. The only guys that don't cheat on their girls are liars because they say they don't. Anyone who says they don't cheat on their girlfriend is either a liar or a loser.
Certain ages.
Yeah.
No, seriously, as you get older, you're.
So that's what I was learning at 12 years old from Steve-O on crack cocaine, that the only person that doesn't cheat on their partner are liars and losers. Can you fucking believe that?
You know, like, I mean, I don't know, but baby, it sounds like you're having enough sexual activity yourself that you shouldn't be pointing the finger at people and damn, you know what
stop
this is. CBing.
You know what this is.
I wish I could say what CBing is.
She really doesn't care what these guys
She's a
do.
blocker.
She just cares. What?
Yeah, she's trying to exert her authority.
Yeah, but what she cares about is the fact that her boyfriend might behave the same way, and she wants him to see her engaging in this blocking action.
Yeah, it's a tangled web.
To make it very clear to him that this behavior, when she's not around, will be unacceptable, and God willing, the girlfriends would block him too.
Bullseye. You nailed it.
This is why you have your own show, Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
He's the most famous doctor on the planet, baby.
But yeah, you get it. Pretty good stuff. I don't remember what the point of showing you this was. Oh, that's just where I learned all my stuff. And everything sprouts from those original patterns that I found. And it's just the thing that made me want to broadcast. So let's move now to the big thing for today is this thing that I posted in the Facebook group that I think is pretty fucking crazy. I don't know why it's not showing me this. I can see other people's comments, but not my own. What the fuck? You piece of shit. Show me the shit. You piece of shit. Okay, I found it. So I posted this in the Facebook group. I think most everyone has seen it. It's this stuff that a long time ago I heard from a lot of guys. Crow 777 was one of those guys, and there were a few others but I dismissed it because when I looked it up, and Santos Bonacci, I heard it from Santos Bonacci too. But following those trails, it linked me to this stuff called Free Man on the Land. Have you heard of this? Free Man on the Land, which is some type of movement where it's like, I guess it's just the convoluted version of what this really is. It's still pretty fucking confusing to me. But Free Land on the Land was like this movement saying that nobody can do anything to you in court or anywhere else as long as you just don't accept the government as your government. It's this idea that you can go into a courtroom and if you say the right things, you can get out of anything. That's kind of the premise in a nutshell. But I dismissed it as this stuff called Free Man on the Land, right? And because there is a movement called Free Man on the Land, and it is just a bunch of stupid shit. It's like the fake convoluted version. Just like the Flat Earth Society, or just like all the bullshit astrology stuff you find, or just like all the bullshit angel numbers meanings and all this shit. Sim Schaefer says, from earlier, she says, then that means they have to take responsibility. Many people don't want to. It's the blame game. Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to be wrong. Nobody wants to say, oh shit, I was wrong. I didn't know. I didn't have any of the information that I needed. Right? But that's the truth. None of us know. None of us knew until we did. So I found a good Instagram post earlier to kind of sum some of this stuff up. There's no point in showing it. So I'm just going to read this directly to you because I think this is accurate. This is not the Facebook comment or anything. This is a different thing, but it means the same thing. So this is some informative stuff regardless of what my opinion is. Only banks and corporations have presidents. The reason the U.S. government has legal jurisdiction over the U.S. citizens is the fact that they're considered artificial persons, corporations, therefore having no natural rights. The citizens are considered employees of the United States Incorporated and therefore bound to the acts and statutes of corporations. If you need proof, look at subsections 15 and 15A in Title 28 U.S. Code 3002, and you should see United States means a federal corporation. And do you ever think about that? The United States of America, that is describing a corporation. Let's see here today. So birth certificate, a legal person, a fictional character, a corporate entity, a corporation, not living, not breathing, not alive, not conscious or capable of thought. A person or an entity such as a corporation that is recognized by law as having the rights and duties of a human being. Your birth certificate is a scam, and your enslavement is forced by education, economic slavery, and the fact that you were forced into a commercial contract by your government and forced to accept all commercial liability to the corporation as written on your birth certificate. Now, this is a comparison between commerce and your birth process. And I think that when you look into commerce, maritime law, you're going to find a lot of this stuff to make sense. Whether or not you decide that it's true or untrue or wherever you decide to go with it, you are going to see that it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. So birth, B-E-R-T-H versus birth, B-I-R-T-H. When a ship is in the process of being docked, it's guided to berth with an E. Before the crew can unload all the cargoes onto the dock, they have to show a certificate of manifest, which is a record that has info of the product's registration, country of origin, manufacturer, etc. A certificate of manifest is basically a birth certificate. In short, the manufacturers that created you, the product, are your parents. So I'm going to take a side trip here and go look up the definition of certificate. Certificate. Because I think it'll be revealing. An official document attesting a certain fact. Provide with or attest in an official document. Okay, That wasn't as cool as I thought it was. Let's see. Currency. Now, currency is a good one too. If you ever just think about that word or look into the word currency, it's like the currents from the water and shit like that. And then electrical currents, right? Why does this mean these three specific things? Money is used as a medium used by corporations to pay their employees. One of the definitions of currency is something that is used as a medium to exchange. The word medium means an intervening substance as air through which a force acts or an effect is produced. Medium can also mean a person thought to have power to communicate with spirits of the dead. To connect the dots, currency/currency, current chi, is used as a medium to communicate with and transfer life force energy to the dead. Okay. I don't know what that last slide really means. Riverbank. The word bank is related to the word river. What does a river have on its two sides to prevent water from flowing out of it? Riverbanks. Corporate banks are like riverbanks because they regulate the currency/currency. In other words, they regulate the flow of energy, just like riverbanks regulate the flowing energy of water. All of this has to do with the law of the sea. Law of the sea. So this is comparing the word sail, like on a boat, like a sailboat, to the word sail, like you're having a big sale at a store. This is common words and phrases involving ships, water, and the sea. Drowning in debt, cash flow, loan sharks, liquid assets, staying afloat, currency, head above water, legal tender, which is like a smaller boat, frozen bank account, subprime mortgage, my house is underwater, breach of a contract, citizenship, relationship, worship, hardship, sponsorship, scholarship, championship, censorship. Those are all because of the word ship, citizenship, relationship, worship, hardship. Interesting. Death pledge. Mortgage comes from the old French word that literally means death pledge. Mort, like a mortuary, and death, mortgage, plus gage pledge. Mort, death, plus gage pledge. We are sold/sold, like SOULED, compared to SOLD, sold, a home, hence to sign one's life away, and they ask for a down payment to show good faith to the debt, which means dead apparently. We spend all our lives paying for something that we leave behind when we die. Interesting, but still not as informative as I would like it to be. So you get the picture here. This is the idea that when we are born, our birth certificate is like it's like our birth certificate is like a cattle tag. A cattle tag is like when you pierce a cow's ear and you write a number on it, so you know which cow is which, because there's so many of them on the farm that you can't tell. There's too many of them. Sam Osborne says, we send all of our electrical current to the DC. Yep, we give them all of our energy willingly. You know, to me, voting is just you submitting. Voting is you agreeing to play the game and giving away your energy for free. I'm willing to bet it's the same people voting that are getting vaccines. Morgan says, deed, dead, fire, fired. That shit's fucking crazy, dude. Fucking crazy. Current of energy from Jen equals currency. Now, why would they use all these words? This is what I don't know. I don't have answers on why they use all those words, aside from the obvious stuff. But there's a lot of guys out there claiming to have those answers, and it's making it really hard for me to look into this stuff. I mean, this is right there with Flat Earth in terms of being really two-sided. Like, everywhere I look, I see opposing viewpoints about all of this stuff. People are saying it's complete bullshit. People are saying, nope, it's real. I'm leaning more on the side of it's real just because most other conspiracies have been real. I mean, following the patterns, it's probably true. But the birth certificate thing, I don't know. I looked at my son's birth certificate the other day, and there's like a barcode and a serial number on the back of the paper, and that's the only thing weird. Everything else, there's none of the weird shit. I've been reading all these forums and stuff. People are saying all this crazy stuff, but I don't see it. I also read the other day, I hope someone can check. If anybody has a personal check on this and get back to me because I really want to know, but I don't have personal checks. They were saying that if you take a personal check, like one with your name on it that you can write out to someone from your bank, they're claiming that the line that you sign your signature on, if you take a magnifying glass or your phone or something, that line you sign on is actually microscopic words. Like it says authorized legal signature. It says something like that, really small, over and over. Really weird. And I mean, the context of it was like that was important, but it just makes me wonder, is that true? I need answers on this, though. And the problem is nobody has answers. And the people that I find that do have answers, it's like you just have to blindly trust them. Their whole demeanor, they're like, nope, this is how this is. This is how this is. And they don't leave any room for being corrected. And that makes it hard for me to trust those sources. And there's no one in between. You know how I'm kind of in between? I always tell you, well, this could be true or it could not be true. I don't know. That's the truth. That's an actual true statement for me to say. It could be this or this. I don't know. And that's the kind of source I like. But everything I find is somebody saying, no, for sure it's this. Whether it's real or fake. They're saying, for sure this is real. Or for sure this is fake. And I don't know. Anything that's too for sure is probably bullshit, in my opinion. I do want to go in here and pull up what Aaron posted. Aaron Connors posted something good in this thread, a link to something. And I need to pull it up because it was good. Here it is. I have found it. It's a PDF document. Okay. Says, you can discharge almost any debt with proper use of the UCC. Stramanus homo. It says homo. The straw man cometh. You can discharge almost any debt with proper use of the UCC. You can okay, it just keeps repeating the same thing. Now this says, the history of how we were put into the commerce game. On April 5th, 1933, April 5th, by the way, is 3 days before my birthday. On April 5th, 1933, then President Franklin Roosevelt, under executive order issued April 5th, 1933, declared all persons are required to deliver on or before May 1st, 1933, all gold coins, gold bullions, and gold certificates now owned by them to a Federal Reserve Bank branch or agency, or to any member bank of the Federal Reserve System. Blah, 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 blah. Criminal penalties for violation of executive order. $10,000 fine or 10 years imprisonment, or both, as provided in Section 9 of the order. So they're basically saying you have to take all your gold and all your assets and put them in a bank. That's basically the order that they put April 1st, 1933. Section 9 of the order reads as follows. Whosoever willingly violates any provision of this executive order or of these regulations or of any rule, regulation, or license issued thereunder may be fined not more than $10,000, or if a natural person may be imprisoned for not more than 10 years or both, and any officer, director, or agency of any corporation who knowingly participates in any such violation may be punished by a like fine, imprisonment, or both. So this is a big 10-page document that I need to look into more, I guess. But you see right there in the beginning, it makes sense. It adds up. April 5th, 1933. So if you want to find some truth, look into that. Just search April 5th, 1933. I'm going to read this document a lot more and then present you with some better info on the next show, probably. But I think it's pretty crazy shit, right? I think so. Some other things I want to look into lately are Sandy Hook. I want to look into crisis actors. So send me that stuff if you got any of that stuff, because I think it's pretty good. Like, I think Sandy Hook, they made it to where if you talk about Sandy Hook, you get fucking super canceled, taken off of everything immediately, and all this shit. And to me, that's like, that means there's got to be some type of answer there, or it's got to be really easy to figure out some type of truth. Something Sammy was telling me, he's like, who do they hate the most? That's where you got to look if you want to find answers. But I don't know who he meant. I don't know who he meant to look into. He mentioned the Salem witch trials. So maybe I'll look into that. Do they hate the occult people the most? I don't know. I really don't know. I also, let's see. No, that's pretty much it. We'll end it there. Thank you for being here on this chill edition of The Wrong Warp. Before I get out of here, I'm going to watch some Godev, Crater Earth stuff and smoke this last joint. How about that? How about that? That sounds pretty good. And we can hang out.
Okay, people. I wasn't going to be back that fast. I was going to give it a rest for a while. But I received a vital piece of information which I want to share with you as fast as I can. Because today I received a mail from some guy and he said, "Where did I see that crater before?" And he shared a link. So I started looking at this video.
Morgan says, not the sign line, but the line below that. Picking the wrong orb. Oh, sweet. So Morgan sent in a picture of the check thing. Fuck yes. Let's pull this up. Because I want to know, and I haven't met anyone with a personal check yet. Let's see. The Wrong Warp Facebook group. Ah, here we go. Sweet. Let's see. What the fuck does that say? Something, something document? What does it say, Morgan? Here, I'll put it on the screen here. Probably hard to see on the screen. But it does say some shit. Original document. I can't tell. Can you tell what it says? Fucking wild, though.
Nothing special. A typical NASA bullshit movie. Well, that was what I thought. So I asked this person, where do you want me to look at? But in the meantime, I was looking at this piece of video, and the only thing I could
I don't know why I love his videos so much.
He was trying to show me a crater. And the only footage where you would possibly see a crater was this, what you are looking at.
Okay. Let's skip forward and get to some good shit. How about that?
Prison planet Earth, the ice wall.
Original document is what it said on there.
People might have their doubts,
original document.
But I'm pretty sure this is real.
So this Godev guy, he has this idea. David Zouza can tell you more about it because he's watched all these videos. That the moon is a reflection of our crater, of us. And I've looked into that a little bit too. The moon, if you look at all these pictures of the moon, which who knows if they're real or fake or accurate or what, it does kind of look like Earth. Like you can see a lot of similar shit in there. That also reminds me, I guess I can pull up Twitter. We can do a little bit more. Joe Rogan, or no, Instagram. That's what I need to pull up. Joe Rogan has been posting all this moon shit. I made a post about it on Twitter, but it's so bizarre. So very bizarre to me. Joe Rogan. There he is. He's been posting so much weird shit. Let's see. Why is this hidden? Is it because it's 9/11? This post is covered, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Oh, no, it's Gandhi or whoever being on fire. And him with the microphone. So Joe Rogan, let's see. This is the first one that he posted. I feel like he's trying to disclose something. He's got to be, right? He said, this is an actual photo of the moon I took with my Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. Fucking amazing what phone cameras can do now. That was weird. I mean, I remember the very first one. That one was pretty weird already. And then he posted the sun. Is that what this is? Or is this Mars? Close-up of the sun during sunset with my Oh, these are just Galaxy ads, right? With close-up of the sun with my Galaxy. No, it's not a paid post. And no, I don't have working relationship or any relationships with Samsung other than I bought one of their phones and the camera is dope as fuck. Don't be scared of the green bubble, bitches. Clearly some type of ad, right? Either way. So he's posted the moon, then he posts the sun, and then he posts the moon again. If you look close, you can see the spot where Jeff Bezos plans to land his giant robot space dick and become the first man to jack off on the moon. I think in one of these he says that he's drunk. But it's just super weird. It's like, why, Joe Rogan? Why are you doing this? Spending your time doing this? If werewolves were real, tomorrow would be lit. Showing that it's a full moon? Or are there clues in this image? I don't know. I wish I was smarter. I wish I was a better researcher. Aaron says he's controlled op, in my opinion. Yeah, he has to be. He has to be. And if you look at ever since he got bought out by Spotify or whatever, he's been real fucking weird. He always has been, but he's been even weirder. And so now he's sharing this stuff from some Photoshop account who's Photoshopping him into these weird situations as a fight commentator, like holding a microphone up, like after a fight. Aaron says to complement the blue beam shenanigans. Ah, yeah. I think you're onto something there. Because, yeah, he's clearly a pawn. He's clearly a puppet of some type because he has such influence. He has such influence because so many males in America grew up without a dad and they look up to him because they're fucking stupid. And they don't realize that he just does what the money tells him to do. Or, whatever else. So then there's one. So it's a Photoshop account that's making these, but he's posting them on his own account for some reason. It's him talking to 9/11. It's really odd. And it's really odd that he would share it. Is it like him trying to own the pictures or something? Him trying to own it? And then I think that was it. I thought there was one more. I guess that's it. And then he's just posting weird shit. He's a creepy fuck, dude, because listen to him talk in a sauna impromptu. This is how you're dealing with a salesman. Listen to how good he talks impromptu. And think about how easy it is to be manipulated just by the way someone speaks.
Oh, hello, friends. So I went straight from the ice bath into the sauna, and I have to tell you, there is no comparison. The ice bath is way more challenging. The sauna is challenging because right now I'm at 27 minutes.
What's the point of
at
this?
185 degrees, and I don't really want to be in here anymore. But I can talk to you, and I can breathe, and I can endure it. The ice bath was rough. I have to tell you, your boy went out.
What is the point of this? Just promoting ice baths? For what? Why would you need to promote ice baths? Right? The fuck does that do for you? I know people who think he's been paid for a long time because for years he's done his hunting thing. He'll go hunt in the mountains and then he'll talk about it. Or he'll cook the elk that he captures, all this shit. People have speculated that he's being paid by like those states up there where the mountains are. That him hunting and everything is an ad to promote people to get out there. All kinds of crazy shit that I've seen with Joe Rogan. He's bad. Just know that. Joe Rogan is bad. All those guys are bad. And you can still enjoy them. You just got to be really mindful to not take influence from them. Because like Theo Von is good. What I really like about Theo Von as a comedian is that he tells jokes. He's trying to be funny. He's saying things that are untrue, but you're not supposed to be tricked. You're supposed to realize it's a joke and think it's funny. But then you also got to look that Theo Von hangs out with Brendan Schraub, who's a huge piece of shit. So you never know. But I don't know. I don't know what to... I really don't trust or believe in anything, to be honest. As a baseline, I think everything's bullshit. Anything presented to me, it's probably bullshit. And it's shocking to learn that it's real. It's great if you figure out something's real, but it's like, oh, wow, something's real? That's what I do, and it works pretty good. Just just assume everything is a lie and bullshit all the time. It's kind of like the assume the worst and hope for the best motto, but without it being depressing. Because I've heard people counter that before with like, oh, that's not a good way to live, but I don't know, I'm pretty happy. You don't get really disappointed that way. I mean, you know we're in a bullshit world. Just don't know what to do about it. I don't really think the point is to escape this world, you know, and everyone wants to paint a picture of this big war happening and stuff. I'm going to tell you what I think, and this is what's going to take it back to when this show first started. I think that this is a dream of mine. I think that I am God. I came here because I am bored. And do you remember a show from childhood called Tom and Jerry? So in Tom and Jerry, it's a mouse and a cat. Tom and Jerry are actually best friends. But Tom has to pretend to try to kill Jerry every day, because if he doesn't do that, Tom's owner is going to replace him with a cat who really will kill Jerry. So to keep Jerry alive, Tom has to pretend to try to kill him. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, just Google are Tom and Jerry friends. Tom has to pretend to kill Jerry so that he doesn't get replaced with a cat who really will kill Jerry. So could it be that all this stuff, whoever the they is, whoever's in charge, whoever's doing all this shit, is it just me? And is that just the best way that I've figured out how to regulate things and have a good time? Because if I don't make this part of it happen, something worse will happen? Either way, to be honest, I trust myself. And say whatever you think the worst thing is happens. Everything gets blown up. We all die. Everyone's, say the worst thing happens. Okay, what am I going to do about it? There's nothing I'm going to do about that. So, let the fucking chips fall where they may, as Tyler Durden would say. So Jen says, did you see the new movie Tom and Jerry? We watched like the first half of it. And then my son got bored with it. I thought it was pretty cool, though. And that's kind of what made me think of this. Because I Googled our Tom and Jerry friends, and that was the answer I got. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. Even if I'm wrong about that, that's got to be some really good metaphor for something. The Tom and Jerry thing. Tom must pretend to kill Jerry so that he doesn't get replaced with a cat who really will kill Jerry. So the ultimate act of love is for the cat to try to pretend to try to kill the mouse. Crazy shit, right? Very crazy shit. But I think that's a great way to end the show. I love you very much. Thank you for being in the Minus World. If you're in the Facebook group and not in the Minus World, join that Minus World. God damn it. buymeacoffee.com/thewrongwarp. I love you. You know where to find me. The Wrong Warp on Twitter, thewrongwarp.com. If you're in the US, you can get a t-shirt. I love you. Don't be scared. I've got so much shit here. I'll show you on the next show. And I'll probably have more by then too. Send your best stuff in it. All right. Send your stuff in and we'll watch it on the show. Aaron Connor said, your son got bored with it and you wanted to keep watching. I love it. Love you all. We all love you, Aaron. And I love all of you. And I hope you have a really good week this week. And I hope you get everything you want because you deserve it.